It might have been the third game at home that I came to with my family. It was either the first or second goal from us. Number 9 of our guys got a header straight in, full contact with the goalie, and we just lost it. Smoke and flags in the horn, and losing it. That one just branded itself in my brain.
Hello and welcome to the season-ending edition of OCFC Extra here on the Oakland County FC YouTube. My name, Robert Kerr, media director and play-by-play announcer for the club. And by my side, my partner in broadcasting and on the show, Mitch Gatchke. Mitch
Cheers,
Gatchke.
Rob.
I finally got your name right there,
eh? Cheers, Rob. Thanks so much for having me. As always, it's a treat to be on the mic with you, and looking forward to breaking down the season here.
Yeah, we got an exciting guest. We have the 2026 Supporter of the Year, Charlie Allinder, joining the show in a little bit. He's great, a lot of energy, and you'll know why he won that title. But second place for OCFC in 2026, the best positional finish to date, but maybe fell just short of the ultimate goal, unfortunately.
Yeah, falling short, and it was tough to end the season the way that it did, kind of down the stretch, the second half. We knew it was going to be tough with so many home games stacked at the beginning of the season, but the team got on a really good roll, and it seemed like something special was brewing. Unfortunately, a couple things here and there just meant that the points didn't quite end up where we needed them. But still plenty of things to be positive about, plenty of things to celebrate, a lot of individual performances, who deserve the spotlight. So I'm excited to do that here today.
Yeah, I mean, I guess most of the accolades and the conversation starts with goal scoring, right? A lot of goal scoring for the team, but the Golden Boot winner and amongst the top in USL2, the number 9, Andrew Direction.
Indeed, Andrew Durakshian, team leader in goals this summer with 11, and actually club record holder now with those 11 goals, surpassing a couple of guys that we're pretty familiar with, Rob. But in addition to that, also he stacked up very well nationally. I'm just taking a look at the list to make sure I have it correct here, but tied for 5th in USL2 with those 11 goals. He's one of 16 guys who got double digits this summer, so certainly something to be commended.
Yeah, and quite a few big numbers put up by county players. We had some Ironmen and multiple players with over 1,000 minutes, and a lot of players stacked up a lot, and that really proves the consistency and the strength of the team across the board, right?
Indeed. 3 players again. I'm going to take a look at the stat sheet here on my other screen, but Andrew Durakshian, over 1,000 minutes. Rocco Del Giudice also over 1,000 minutes, and team leader in minutes, Mushtaba Al Hasnawi, winner of the Tim Ponser Award this season. For just everything that he contributed. Obviously, the goal scoring from Durakshian we talked about, but these two wing backs and even center backs at times really provided a lot of defensive solidity, leadership, just that consistency in the lineup that you really need in these short seasons where lineup changes are common. To be able to rely on Rocco and Mush the way that we did this season was huge for the team.
So the number 9, the Golden Boot winner for Oakland County FC, also winning the vote for the Players Player of the Year, and you can understand why. I mean, his competitiveness and his spirit never faltered. He seemed to be always hungry for goals and always very aggressive on the front foot. Me and you up in the booth had the pleasure of commentating on all the home games and got to travel to a few of the ones on the road as well. And the use of his body, his willingness to run, and all-around game, but his ability to score goals of all varieties was really a pleasure to watch throughout the season and gave us a lot to cheer for.
It's really a fully rounded striker, Rob. There isn't a single part of his game that you look at and say it's not quite up to par. He can do everything. That's why you see him playing so many minutes, because even after he scores a couple and you're hanging on to a 2-1 lead, he's going to put in the hard yards to chase the ball, lead the press. His actions speak volumes on the field. You can see how much it means to him, both on and off the ball. Numerous times he was just not to be denied, making those runs to the near post to get even just the littlest touch, the things that the best strikers do. Even when it's not a clean finish, it's not your best strike of the ball, you get enough to direct it past the keeper. Andrew Duraction did it all this summer.
Yeah, we saw him score headers off of set pieces. We saw him score, the last touch of a well-worked team goal, and also some rocket shots as well. And then some on the break, he scored goals of all sorts, even in the last game of the season from almost halfway.
He kind of cherry on top, right? Like a goal from half field to seal the deal on number 11 in the club lead.
But there was a lot of goals scored just across the board. Oakland County FC scoring 27 in 12 games. Not a bad haul. And 11 of those 27 came from the big number 9.
Yeah, and kind of spread all around as well. Want to talk about some other contributors on the scoring sheet. Let me just sort it by goals here. So after Duraction up top, Braden Stefanovic pitched in with 4. Mateo Correa and Keith Larson had 3 of their own. Correa also chipped in with 4 assists for the team lead in that category. And all that work, Rob, those 7 goal contributions in just 568 minutes. Mateo Correa earning himself the Coach's Player of the Year award for kind of being that guy that was relied upon to come off the bench and impact the game when the team needed it most, whether it was another goal or, again, just running around and harrying defenders as they tried to possess the ball around us. Mateo Correa stepped up in a big way, and I would look for him to earn himself more of a role going into next season.
Yeah, and that's always a big question, right? When we're at the end of the season, players are either done with college or they're going back to college. So you never can 100% tell for certainty in most instances who's going to be back or not. But I want to get to our interview with Charlie Allinder, the supporter of the year, because his energy is infectious, his enthusiasm is great, and the season was wonderful. But I don't want us to get into missing playoff sour grapes. So we're going to get to Charlie's interview. And when we get back, I'm going to put you on the spot, Mitch. I'm going to ask you for the moment of the season, and I'll share mine as well. So let's get into that interview with the 2026 Supporter of the Year. All right, ladies and gentlemen, those of the Purple Persuasion, I'm very excited to welcome the 2026 OCFC Supporter of the Year, Charlie Allinder. Welcome to OCFC Extra, and congrats on winning the award in your first year in the stands with Oakland County FC faithful.
Man, thank you for having me. This has been such a immaculate experience being able to be a part of this community now and be able to enjoy the wonder that is footy.
All right, Charlie. So you burst onto the scene this year. And how many games did you go to here in 2026?
I believe, confidently, I can say 9. 3 away games, including Macomb. 4. Macomb, Flint, Kalamazoo, and Ann Arbor. And then about, I believe, 5 or 6 home games.
So you really burst onto the scene. So how did you get involved with OCFC? That's one thing we always say is once people get to their first game, they keep coming back. How did you get out to your first game, Charlie?
Well, I have no one else to thank except for the man, the myth, the legend himself, Luke Zagorski. He was an assistant coach of mine with the Rec Soccer League, CW3. He became very quickly became a mentor of mine. He also became very close with my family. And after I aged out of the group, he said, "Hey, are you guys near the area of Brighton?" And we're like, "Yeah, that's close to us." And he's like, "Yeah, there's a group called Detroit Metro that I support. I would love for you guys to come see a game." so we did. It was awesome. We're like, wow, like I can't believe this is so close. Like we're a huge soccer family. And then he's like, oh, you guys love this. You're not even gonna believe this other place that is like it's like my heart and soul. And he told us it's called OCFC, Oakland County Football Club. And he's like, are you guys familiar with the Royal Oak area? And my mom works at a chiropractor near there, and I have family who live in the area. So we were like, oh my gosh, that's like another home to us. He's like, perfect. We all go to a home game beginning of the season. And from then it was just downhill, like getting to know all of the amazing people and such the energy that is given and all of the opportunities you can have. And, it's unbelievable. I could not be more happy that I'm, that I'm here now talking to you guys and being able to rock one of my favorite colors.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us. Curious to hear your initial impressions. You talked about how you got into it, but once you started coming around, what were your first sort of thoughts as you began to introduce yourself to the group?
Oh man, so many feelings, just like why weaving together to make it amazing. But obviously Luke, like the man, welcomed us in with big arms, and all of the Elmwood elite. They've been such a welcoming group that have just been nothing but, it's all about the footy. It's about nothing else, and that mindset and mentality is just so refreshing from other communities that I've attempted to be a part of. And also just seeing how family friendly it is. At the home games, they got like the face paint and the bouncy castles, and then at the halftime, like kids get to go and try to make a shot on goal. And I'm the oldest of 6, and like my little siblings, they were just so happy that finally they had something for them. In a place that it's a big kid league, and yet it's for everybody. And and not even just that, it's also just watching the groundedness of the company, of the team, of how they're all such individual people, and yet they come together to make one badass purple team. And and it's just amazing to, I've been able to meet a lot of the guys and meet the coaches, and it's so beautiful to see such a appreciation for soccer and such an appreciation for community. Because nowadays that's in shortage. It's people overlook how important that is to have in your life. And combining something as important as sports, especially soccer, because for a lot of people that's their home away from home, or their home. And like for me, soccer has given me such a like a sense of importance. Like you're working together with other people, and it's it's for a cause bigger than yourself. No matter what level you're at. And it's just been a collective of, again, I say this over and over again, community. It was a perfect little wrapped gift with a bow, man. Seriously.
Sounds like the OCFC experience hit you on a number of different levels. Not only did it provide your younger siblings, your flock that you have with you,
Exactly.
gave them a variety of different things to do, from bounce houses, face painting, and the little pitch that the kids run around on, but also those like yourself that had your eyes keenly set on the field, and there was plenty to see on the field this year.
Oh, absolutely, man. Nothing but sorry guys, I'm gonna go turn that on real quick.
Did you just get timed out? Someone, is that one of your siblings right there turning the light out on you?
Yep. The littlest one. She's a little prankster sometimes.
Oh, so you got.
Oh, it's yes, sir. Exactly.
My goodness. So there's action on the field. There's plenty to do for the family and the kids. And so you went to a number of games, 5 out of the 6 home games, 4 out of the 6 road games. That's instant dedication there. And you had a warm welcome. Obviously, Luke, a wonderful ambassador for the club and for the game in general. And so it sounds like you had a love for purple in general. But so that first game was a big win. And then so what were some of the other games that kind of stood out to you that like kind of got the purple into your skin there?
Oh man. That's so hard. There was so many like impactful moments from either us in the stands or the boys out in the field. I mean, I really do have to say it might have been the third game at home that I came to with my family, and it was either the first or second goal from us, and I believe it was number 9 of number 9 of our guys got a header straight in, full contact with the goalie, and we just lost it. Smoke and flags in the horn, and losing it. That one just branded itself in my brain, just of how seeing how talented and strong our players are, and how motivated they are, and again, like seeing, I'm kind of one of those guys. I'm a little competitive, in moments, and I love. It's always so addicting to see hard play and aggressive play, because they, seeing other teams that we've played against, they, or just teams in general. A lot of people they think of aggression as a bad thing, right? And aggression is just a form of physical motivation. It's something to get you moving forward. It's to get you hopefully to think clearly and make good decisions on the spot. And the one thing I love is mesmerizing really in any level is just seeing the choices made on the quickly on the spot, and seeing their decisions, and them the communication. It's like it's invigorating, seriously.
Yeah, I think you're referring to Big Andrew Durakshian's goal against Ann Arbor. That power header was pretty incredible stuff, and he set the single season goal scoring record for OCFC this year when he scored that goal from halfway in the final game of the season. But it's hitting you on a lot of different levels. I love to see it, and it's definitely gotten into your blood. And you got the supporters award, the supporter of the year. Let's show that off. He got that on the last game of the season and instantly broke into chant, which I hear. We were up in the booth, but tell me about that moment when you got the award.
Well, I again, being new to the group, I had no idea what the boys had cooking when they were saying, everyone kind of get in a group or whatever. I thought it was just going to be a speech, big speech at the end of the year. Luke loves giving those, even though he says he hates it. And I'm just like, oh man, I felt so good for the year. I was like, man, I'm officially a part of a family, Elmwood Elite, woo! And and then they were talking about this, which has been on my boy John's neck the entire time that I've been here this season, and he handed it off to Brandon, and they were saying, oh, this is the award for the fan of the year, da 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 da, and I was just like, oh man, this is so cool. I wonder who's gonna get it. Not even thinking twice, right? I'm new, and I could just kind of see Brandon looking at me. He's just kind of every now and then getting a little quick glance. I'm like, in the back of my head, I was like, you're about to be put on the spot. And in the front, it's like a little talk back and forth. It's like, no, I'm not. Yes, oh yes, you are. And it's just going, thoughts swirling. And then finally, it's just like, and honestly, and he said, announced it. The fan of the year is handed right. He looked right at me, said, Charlie, come up. I speechless, dude. Absolutely, just words gone. I was so, honored. Seriously, being, not being around, this has been my first season ever, and just being new to this league of soccer, it was such a meaningful thing to me, because I've growing up, I've always longed for community. I've always longed for a place that I felt like I was contributing, and then receiving this bad boy for just that was it meant everything. And my mom and my siblings were there, and I didn't know what to say, and I'm just like, oh God, like they're all, everyone's looking at me, da 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 da, and just the one thing that came into my brain was just to send it with a last good chant of the year, man. One more for the boys, one more for us, and and afterwards I'm talking to my brother. I'm like, oh my God, was that cliche? Like, was that like corny? Da da da. And he puts his hand on my shoulder and he's like, dude, that was good. That was strong. That was whatever. Shut up. And we went home. And I was like, okay, cool. No, it was one of the best moments I've had this year, and I think it's going to be very hard to beat it. That is the truth.
Still one big ritual for you to have for the first time. You already mentioned it. This Sunday, if you're seeing this before the 26th, it's the 7th annual memorial, the Tim Ponser Memorial, the staff versus supporters game, where the interns and the staff of the team get to kind of like relax and have fun and play an exhibition game against all the supporters that they've kind of interacted with on like a game day setting, and everyone gets to hang out and play an exhibition game. And there's usually some late game antics to favor one team or another. A former owner, Nicolino Marana, often the referee, creative with end of game calls more often than not in the exhibition game. But excited to see you out there, and it'll be a great time, as it usually is, a great curtain dropper to end the season, the supporters versus staff game. So congratulations, support of the year 2026, Trey Allinder. Thank you so much for joining us here on OCFC Extra.
Thank you for having me, boys.
Welcome on back here. OCFC Extra, putting a bow on the 10th season for Oakland County FC on the field. 2026, first ever second place finish for OCFC. Unfortunately, it comes in the year where this is the first year where only one team from the Great Lakes division of the USL2 went to the playoffs. So we look to teams of field, jealous perhaps of their postseason inclusion, but the football gods are making us be patient. The incremental gains, it's step by step, inch by inch. OCFC continues to rise and climb. And before I put you on the spot and ask you for your moment of the season, I'll share mine and give you a little bit of time to think about it. Because a lot of the time, obviously, with the season being done, it's like the moments you make together and the memories made over this like short sprint season. And then getting to meet Charlie and the whole Allinder crew and the other folks that kind of joined the fray along the year was obviously great. And so, yeah, it's the friends and the moments you make along the way. And I just wanted to share mine because it was maybe a little bit of a out of the spotlight sort of moment. And so I want to share mine was with Rocco Del Giudice, actually. And it came the day after we knew that OCFC was not going to make the postseason. So we were out late out in Ann Arbor on the Friday night on July 3rd. And about the 4th of July, we were participating in the 4th of July parade in Clawson, and we had a good crew. The Allanders, like you just saw, Charlie and his siblings were there. I met his dad there, and there were some of the most ardently dedicated interns. And then Morgan, one of the great leaders of the operations, was there. And then Rocco, obviously, he is an Italian international, and he actually had his girlfriend visiting from out of town. And it was their first ever 4th of July, and it was certainly their first time participating in a parade. And so my favorite moment of the season was spending the 4th of July parade with Rocco Del Giudice with a smile from ear to ear, making an absolutely lifelong memory with him. He was one of my favorite new players of the season. He gave his absolute all. I mean, after the games, he could barely move around. I remember on the bus, I was lucky enough to ride on the bus ride back from Grand Rapids, the 6th win of the season, to cap off that 6-0 run at the first half of the season. And the bus was absolutely exploding with energy, loud music, people singing. And he was absolutely passed out. He had given Coach Walker and OCFC literally every single drop of his energy. He couldn't be even woken up in the midst of a bus ride of karaoke. and celebration. And so just seeing him throughout that parade, like handing out candy to kids and like high-fiving kids and stuff like that. And that parade route is like 1.5 miles, so it's significant. It's a little bit of time. And then at the end, when we were all recovering and, you know, kind of sharing our stories at the end of the parade, he just like looked back inside and he was like, we made great memories here. And that was just the best moment of the season for me. It was a great moment with one of our standout players of the year.
Yeah, standout player for sure, a great teammate, somebody you want to root for, and he made it so easy with not only his work on the field. You mentioned himself running into the ground every single game and leaving it absolutely all out there, and then off the pitch as well, being that positive impact on the community. He was a treat to have met this summer, and hope to see more of Rocco in the future.
Yeah, we will only hope, but I don't know what lies in his future. He's definitely an experienced player and an international student. So fingers crossed. Hopefully, the stars align and we could see another season of Rocco Del Giudice. But now it's time. What is your moment of the season, Mitch?
Well, I'm going to go a little granular here, Rob. A goal that didn't necessarily impact the result of the game that it occurred in, but the 89th minute of the home game against Lansing on the 6th of June that brought us to 5-0 and really shifted things into, okay, this is attainable. We have a team that is playoff worthy. We've won all sorts of games now, from comebacks to leading the whole way to blowing teams out here in this 6-0. The 6th goal that night, the screamer from Naeem Robinson, who came off the bench and just absolutely blasted this thing into the top bin from probably 25, 30 yards out. Kind of out of nowhere, everybody was just waiting for the final whistle. Naeem says, no, this is not over yet. I've got a moment to share with the Elmwood Elite. And boy, did he. It was so much fun to see his reaction, to see the fans' reaction. That became the biggest win in club history, I believe, a 6-0. We had not had one of those before. And one for the future. Naeem Robinson, we'll see if he can make more of an impact on the 2027 season for Oakland County. So that's where I'll leave it, Rob, with one for the future, one to look out for. And again, with plenty of positive notes to take out of 26, it's onwards and upwards as we hurtle into 2027.
Would you call that, this is a bit impromptu and spontaneous, but is that the Weiss Distilling shot of the season?
I think it is. As many great goals as Andrew Juraxian scored. We talked about just how varied his game is, and he can do just about anything. He didn't hit any like Naeem did on that night.
Yeah, that was truly spectacular and a great selection for a moment of the season. And if you're watching this video on YouTube, comment below for your moment of the season, and maybe you have a nomination for the Weiss Distilling shot of the season, if we're going to turn that into something fun to discuss. But I think that about does it for us on OCFC Extra for now. But we do have the curtain closer to look forward to, the 7th annual Supporters versus Staff game, Shrine High School, on July 26th. Hope to see you guys out there. But until next time, everybody, bleed purple.
Up the county.